Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Hawkes. This is your best life defined. I have to tell you, thank you. The election is over. Talk about it. You know what? It's attractive to me. I try not to take in information like that because I must be weak-minded or something. Because when I take in information like that, what it does is it kind of just gets inside me, and it has a real serious impact on my demeanor, on my mood, on how I feel. Right? And it's like sometimes it just sucks the life out of me. So what I have to do is I have to keep my attitude up, especially when I come out here every day and I do this. You can't be in a pissy mood and come out here and go, the life sucks. Because if you're getting that impression from me, you're not going to get that. If you get anything from me in the way of frustration, it's that I'm really trying hard to give you information that's going to allow you to access things in your life you want to do. Have a life you have a vision for yourself that's built around who you are. And sometimes I get frustrated with that. Sometimes I think, well, damn, what else is it going to take to get your attention to the point you can actually start believing in yourself enough to say, you know what, I'm going to change something about my life. I can't do this job anymore, or my relationship sucks, or I need to be a better parent, or whatever your struggle is. You choose it. I'm not telling you how to be. I'm saying that you can make it better, right? When I'm listening to the news and when I'm watching this candidates and all the upheaval, that's part of the reason I've gotten off of social media, is because it was influencing how I was feeling on the inside, and it was influencing my thinking. I was starting to I was starting to get back into that angry thing that the world sucks and there's no good in the world, and yeah, they're right, these people are wrong. And you see my brow furrow. If you're watching this on YouTube, my brow even furrows as I think about those things. You can't have it both ways. I can't have it both. Maybe you can. Maybe you can think angry, hateful thoughts, or you can bring in the poison that these people keep trying to force feed us, the media and all these people who are trying to influence us to believe the way they believe. And it's all ugliness. Most of it's ugliness. And more than that, most of it doesn't benefit you. You want to bring that into your life. How do you have that in abundance in your life and then have positive thoughts about how great your future looks? How do you do that? I mean, if you can tell me, I would really appreciate it, because then maybe I could gather even more information than I am now, and I can possibly use that to my advantage, right? It doesn't work that way. We become what we think. When you form opinions, it doesn't matter where you get the idea for those opinions. It doesn't matter where the influence comes from for those opinions and those ideas. There's only two sides of the line on that. There's the light and the dark. And that is, when you're standing in the light, you find energy, and you have positive energy that's taking you in a positive direction. And the things you take into your life add value to your life in the form of you learn stuff, or it motivates you to do things. And on the other side of that, you're thinking bad things. You're thinking how terrible things are. Guess what you're going to see? You're going to see a bunch of terrible things. You see things you hate. You think about things that you hate in life. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to spend a lot of time thinking about things you hate. And the more things you hate, the more things you're going to hate, because the more things you hate, you're going to see, because that's what you're looking at, right? I know this sounds simple, right? It's like, okay, bullshit. Okay, so what? So, all right, we all know this, right? Well, I don't think we all know this. See, my life was where it was at until I changed it. Sandy's life is where it was at until she changed it. And the only way we change our life is to change our thinking. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me what you believe about your American dream, because I assure you that if I challenge you on it, you're going to tell me how happy you are. But when you really look at it, how can you be so happy if you don't spend that much time doing shit that makes you happy? That's where the honesty comes in. Now, as long as you think, my life is amazing, I don't need to change a thing, I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, and that's all there is to it, guess what? You're not going to change a thing in your life. You're not going to do anything different than what you're doing right now. And tomorrow you'll wake up and you'll do the same thing again, right? Because in order for you to change your life, you have to change your thinking. You have to think about something else. Now, what I recognized with this election, because it's definitely been one of the most exhilarating experiences of my life and catastrophic. I just can't believe we've sunk to this level. When I think about that and what that actually entails, had I fallen off and I had forgotten who I was, and had I not been sitting here asking myself these important questions, there would have been a chance that I could have got real ugly before I figured it all out. Life is created by our thoughts. Every action is created by thought. If you're so steadfast in your opinions, I'm not trying to change that. I can't change that. I am powerless to change it. There's no one in the world who can change that. That's the reason we aren't able to accomplish anything. That's the reason there's so much hate in the world. It isn't because you have firsthand knowledge of that guy standing across that picket line from you that he actually did something to harm your life, to harm your children, to take something away from you that you deserve. But the way you think about him, you believe that. Because of what you've been told about him, about that Trump supporter, about that Biden supporter, about that Mexican national, about that foreigner. But if you change your thinking to the reality, and the reality is this: okay, I can stand over there and I can believe and support what I believe, but that isn't a license to hate people who believe different things than me. Because if I were to actually step away from the political rhetoric and I were to actually just step up to that person outside the realm of conflict and say, hey, how you doing? My name's Chris. What's your story, man? What's your story? I'd find out that they have family, they have dreams, they have people that they love, they have things they still want to do, they have hopes that things will change and make their life better. They're hoping that they can change their life and make it better. They hope that their children will be successful, that will not have to struggle. Sound like someone you know? And it starts with simply try thinking something different. Try to think something different about your life, about the people in your life, about where you are, about what's possible. Because it's only by changing your thinking that you change your life. When I talk about living my best life, and I've been hard on the American dream, because the truth is I don't know what else to call it. The blueprint for our lives has been defined. It's defined in every life around us. It's defined in the lives of people we love, people we trust. And it's what we've been taught. And I'm okay with that, I guess. I mean, you have to have a place to live. You probably have to work, and you have to have a way to get around. But beyond that ability to eat and to support yourself, it's an open slate. It's an empty canvas of what it looks like. And while most people who listen to this podcast will say, well, that's bullshit, he's not making sense, there are going to be some of you who say, yeah, I guess you're right. I can still have a house, I can have a place to launch my life from that allows me to get out of the weather, is warm, it's a good place to sleep, it's a place to raise my family, that doesn't consume every dollar that I have, doesn't consume every choice that I have, because it was so far beyond what I needed. And beyond that, it was so far beyond who I am and what inspires me. As long as you believe that it matters to the world and to yourself that you have the fancy-ass big house with all the nice stuff and the fancy cars and the big yard and all that crap, you're going to wake up every day and you are going to work your life away for that. And the question you have to ask yourself is, are you getting your money's worth? How good does it feel to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, fight traffic, go into that office, do the things you do, so when you show up and you show up at home, you're surrounded by all these things you just can't get enough of. You have trouble sleeping at night because you're thinking about what you get to do next tomorrow with all of those things you've chosen for yourself. If you don't feel that way, maybe you should change your thinking. Maybe you should try thinking something else. Maybe you should try thinking about what you can do to accomplish that, to make that feeling happen. And it's not going to happen all at once. I guarantee you right now, if you're swimming in debt and you've got the American dream going 110%, you're just driving down that path, doing what everyone else is doing with the hope of someday retiring. It's tough. You'll think, well, how do I stop this train? Well, you stop by not making it worse. Stop spending. You stop by starting a conversation with yourself and the people that are involved in this decision who will be impacted by this decision. Say, hey, I think we can do, how about this? What about this as an idea for what our life looks like? Maybe we don't need 6,000 square foot. Maybe we could get by with 900 square feet. So we have all that money and all those resources to do something else. But before you can do that, you have to think about it. You have to think about something beyond where you are right now. Try it. You want to be kinder? You want to appear to have changed and transformed like I did? You know why I'm acting the way I am now? Why this message has changed from one of anger and intolerance to one of kindness, compassion, and empathy? Because I started thinking about kindness, compassion, and empathy. I started thinking about, okay, I was angry for all these years. Okay, I'm going to change something. I'm going to start thinking about how I can not be angry, how I can be kinder, how I can be more accepting, less judgmental. This is what it did for me. This is what it did when I tried thinking something different, when I tried on the idea of going ahead and stepping away from all those ideas that are so deeply ingrained in my head and in my life and is so representative of everything around me, just long enough to think something different. And what's funny is the more we thought about this idea of not living a life like everyone else, the more exciting we became, and the more realistic it became, and the more likely it was, and the more confident we were that we were going to be able to do it. And guess what? Nearly 5 years of traveling around the country doing what we want to do. Is it perfect? Hell no, it's not perfect. I'm supposed to be in Fiesta Key, Florida right now, hanging out in the Keys in an RV park surrounded on 3 sides by water. So, I don't know. You do what you need to do. I hope that this is making sense to you. I hope that you're doing a really good job at trying to look at your life from a different perspective and spending time thinking about who you are and what you really want in your life, and then you're going after it. So that's all I can say about it. And other than that, I just say, just remember, today's your day. You can make it better.